Okay, so the final presentation tonight is a good one. Acadia Harvest. This is CEO and Chairman Edward Robinson, who flew in from Maine, where he lives on a beautiful island off the coast.
I was always told you don't want to be the last guy to present. Tough luck, here I am. Acadia Harvest is based on the coast of Maine, and we are growing high-quality marine species, starting with California yellowtail. You would know it as hamachi or hiramasa in a sushi setting, and black sea bass, a very highly valued but hard to get Atlantic Ocean fish. Our mission is to use high-quality, land-based, biosecure production environments to grow premium fish in markets that are poorly served because of overharvesting in the ocean. We have a very strong management team. There's a lot of gray hair around. We say that we're experienced entrepreneurs. Chris and Tap, the two founders of the company, are both marine biologists and have decades of experience with all aspects of aquaculture and a lot of other successes as well. Tap in particular is legendary in the industry, having started both the Oceanic Institute and Sea Life in Hawaii, both of which are still in existence, and he was a founding director of NOAA as well. My background is mostly biotech and pharma, but I've been involved with the business now for 4 years. Our focus these days is on three things. First and foremost is that we're producing fish. We have sold fish over the last 2 years to selected distributors and have had tremendous feedback from chefs and customers about the products. We're now ramping up production so that we can go further into the marketplace. Our innovative waste treatment technology is to turn a waste product into a nutrient stream. We grow marine worms, the consumers of solid waste in the ocean, as well as microalgae, oysters and clams and kelp, many of which are marketable products, but they're also used to clean up the water, and we can function in a closed loop environment, putting no pollution into the ocean whatsoever. The last thing we're doing is developing novel aquafeeds. Rather than using fish meal and oil from scarce and increasingly hard to get anchovies, herring, and sardines, we're using marine waste products, running them through a conversion process, and ending up with a very highly valued, nutritious feed product for our fish. The advantage of land-based production, while it's capital intensive, is that you can control the environment, give the fish and other species exactly the temperature, the pH, the nutrients that they need to grow and prosper and to remain healthy. We have a site in Maine that's deeded for aquaculture use, and we'll be developing this over the next couple of years to produce about 1 million pounds a year of fish. I mentioned California yellowtail. This is a red-labeled fish today in aquaculture. Oddly enough, consumers prefer the farmed fish over the wild-caught fish because the wild-caught fish is highly variable in its quality. It's a huge market, and we're very pleased to have the opportunity to sell into a market that's hungry for a fresh, US-based product. The black sea bass, as I mentioned, is an Atlantic Ocean fish, primarily caught with rod and reel, but it's in scarce supply because of limited seasons and quotas. We've had chefs and distributors tell us that they would take 10 to 30 times as much black sea bass if it was available to them year-round on an unlimited basis. Our goal is obviously to meet that latent demand. Oysters are the primary third crop from the waste treatment. We're in a situation globally where there's not enough oysters to meet demand. Most of them coming into the US are imported products, and there's a lot of issues around quality, pollution, toxins, etc. An indoor grown oyster has a lot of attractions, and we have distributors lined up to take these products once we have them to market size. Our milestones, just to summarize quickly, we have distributors in Maine, in Boston, one of the oldest and most respected distributors there. We also have a distributor here in San Francisco, Clean Fish, that's highly regarded. And we've raised a great deal of money in grant and debt financing from supporters in Maine and the National Science Foundation. For now, our focus is on growing and selling more fish, raising the money to build our commercial scale plant, and then multiplying that over time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ed. I'll just reset the clock here. Hands up high for questions, because if you guys don't have questions, I do. Bernadette does.
Lawrence, you're next. Again, about where you can grow these fish. Are you going to franchise, like out here, for example? But I just heard on the radio in Sacramento, it's so hot, the fish hatcheries are basically taking the fish away. They're I don't know, sweating, overheating. Is this a limited regional proposition, or what is your future business plan?
This is an indoor operation, so we can control the temperature. And the species that we've selected are warm water species. The ideal temperature for all of them is between 70 and 76 degrees Fahrenheit. And we purposely chose compatible species so we don't have to heat and cool the water. We heat it once and then grow a whole stream of products on that warm water. It's very energy efficient.
What's your biggest challenge to scale?
The biggest challenge today is raising the funding to build a commercial scale plant. We're currently working at a University of Maine facility that has a great deal of infrastructure and a skilled team. But for a small startup in Maine to raise $8 million in a business that is known to have challenges, land-based aquaculture, is a barrier for us. We've proven the ability to grow the fish, to sell the fish, and have customers and distributors waiting for much higher volume when we can give it to them.
Edward, are all the fish contained in a facility, or are these all in a...
This is all land-based production.
It's all land-based.
Through the waste treatment technology we're developing with the other species, we can actually grow these fish in a closed-loop setting where you close the valve. You're not taking in potential toxins, parasites, pollutants from the ocean, nor are you putting pollution back into the ocean.
There's also no concern then over like the genetic problems of releasing these types of fish back into the wild after they've been...
No, the way the systems are set up, fish cannot escape back into the ocean. And on the coast of Maine, given the water temperatures, they wouldn't survive very long if they did.
How about land-based lobster harvesting?
We actually have a lot of support in Maine. As you know, the fishing industry in Maine has been devastated, as it has in many other parts of the country. And yet the infrastructure is still there. You have skilled people there. So the chance to put investment back into a very poor part of the state, to hire people, give them training and benefits, is something that resonates throughout the state. And we have a tremendous support base there for what we're trying to do. Yes?
Do you grow your own eggs as well? Is it a closed loop as well there?
About the
Eggs?
Yes, we have a brood stock established already for the yellowtail, and we have about 100 of them that are being kept at the hatchery in the University of Maine facility. The good news about the yellowtail is that a mature hen will yield about 2 million eggs over a period of months. So we don't have a problem getting eggs and turning them into juveniles. Black sea bass have a much narrower window. It's only 2 or 3 weeks in a natural setting. But you can extend that with your feed regime, the use of light and dark during the year. We're now growing a second batch of black sea bass, and we'll establish a brood stock for that as well.
The genetics on the fish?
These are all started from wild strain, and we will not be doing genetic manipulation of the fish. We will do selection of the superior fish from each batch, as anybody does in an agricultural setting.
Last question then. Do you use any antibiotics?
We do not, no. We vaccinate the fish for fish health, but that's normal. Salmon farms, anybody does that. But no, we are not using antibiotics.
Are you able to call the fish organic?
I'm sorry?
Are you able to call the fish organic?
The organic standard in fish is a complicated one, and there really isn't an established organic standard yet. There are a number emerging. In our feed development, what we're trying to do is position ourselves so that we could qualify for that. We're not using genetically modified soy, for instance. We're trying to use a natural products-based feed so that our fish could qualify for what we anticipate the organic standard would be. But what we've found so far is that chefs, who are the primary buyers of fresh fish in the United States, they're younger, they're well-educated, they want sustainable products to put on the table of their customers, and they really like the story that we're putting in front of them and the product that we're providing to them.
Very nice. We're out of time. Acadia
Thank you.
Harvest.
Thank
Ed
you very
Robinson.
much.